Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. General Hospital spoilers. Ava panics over Brick's Christina photos. I did not touch her story proven false. General Hospital, GH. Spoilers reveal that Ava Jerome, Mora West, will soon realize she's got an even bigger problem on her hands. GH fans will recall that Sonny Corinthos, Morris Bernard, found out John Jagger Cates, Adam J. Harrington, had been in Ava's suite, so he had Brick, Stephen A. Smith, take plenty of pictures. However, Brick stuck around and was still snapping pics when Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Mancy, showed up. That means there's a very good chance Brick captured the whole confrontation in a series of photos. Of course, Ava had no idea that Brick was spying and scoring evidence. If she did, Ava probably would have given Dante Falconeri, Dominic Zamprogna, a very different story, perhaps one that was a little closer to the truth. Instead, Ava staged a new accident scene and tried to sell Dante the story that an out-of-control Christina physically attacked her. The way Ava told it, Christina supposedly lunged at her and fell out the window when Ava stepped out of the way. Christina was unhinged just like her father. She came rushing at me and she tripped. I did not touch her. In fact, everything that happened here is of her own doing. Ava told Dante before her arrest in the August 2 episode. Ava is in for a rude awakening if Brick managed to get a photo of her grabbing Christina's arm. That'll disprove Ava's story about not touching Christina, and will ruin this tale she spun about Christina being the aggressor in the situation. Although Ava didn't intentionally shove Christina, it may look like she did based on the pics, and this funny version of events she's cooked up. Ava claimed Christina rushed at her, but the photos will prove Christina's back was to the window. During the week of August 5 to 9, Ava will get updates on a curveball that's going to make things more difficult for her. It seems likely they'll involve Brick handing over the photos to the cops and insisting he captured the crime in progress. Based on our predictions, Ava could be facing serious charges that'll be hard for her to wiggle out of with photographic evidence, especially after she's told so many lies. General Hospital spoilers say another round of bad news is headed Ava's way, so stay tuned. Ava Jerome's day started like any other. The bustling sounds of Port Charles, the aroma of fresh coffee wafting through Charlie's pub, and her ever-present sense of unease simmering beneath the surface. Her life was a constant tightrope walk, balancing her secrets and manipulations with the hope that none of them would come crashing down. Today, however, that balance would be tested in ways she hadn't anticipated. Brick, Sonny Corinthos' trusted right-hand man, had always been a thorn in Ava's side. His loyalty to Sonny and his uncanny ability to sniff out trouble made him a formidable opponent. Yet it wasn't until Brick arrived at the pub that morning, carrying an envelope with an unmistakable air of authority, that Ava felt the first real pang of panic. "Good morning, Ava," Brick greeted her, his voice low and steady. He placed the envelope on the counter with deliberate care, his eyes never leaving hers. "What's this?" Ava asked, her tone casual, though her heart began to race. Brick leaned in slightly, his expression unreadable. "I think you'll want to take a look." Ava hesitated, then picked up the envelope and slid her manicured finger under the seal. Inside, she found a series of photographs, clear, incriminating images of Christina Corinthos Davis in various states of distress, all within the confines of Ava's gallery. Her breath caught in her throat. "Where did you get these?" Ava demanded, her voice a mere whisper. Brick's gaze was unyielding. "That's not important. What matters is the story you've been telling, that you never touched her, never had anything to do with her disappearance. These photos say otherwise." Ava's mind raced. She had been careful, so careful, to cover her tracks. Christina's involvement in her schemes had been a miscalculation, a moment of weakness that she thought she had buried. The photos told a different story, one that could unravel her entire life. "I did not touch her," Ava insisted, her voice trembling slightly. "Those photos are doctored, manipulated." Brick arched an eyebrow. "Is that the story you're going with? Because I have more where these came from. And Sonny isn't exactly in a forgiving mood when it comes to his family." Ava felt a cold sweat break out on her forehead. She had dealt with threats before, but this was different. Brick wasn't bluffing, and the consequences of these photos reaching Sonny were unthinkable. "What do you want?" Ava asked, desperation creeping into her voice. Brick paused, considering her. "You're going to help us find out what really happened to Christina. Every detail, every person involved. And in return, I might be able to convince Sonny to hold off on his wrath." Ava swallowed hard. She knew Brick's offer was likely the only lifeline she had, but it also meant exposing herself to an even greater danger. She would have to navigate this situation with utmost caution. "I'll cooperate," Ava said finally, her voice barely above a whisper. "But you have to promise me protection. From Sonny, from anyone who might want to use this against me." Brick nodded slowly. "You have my word. But don't think for a second that I'll hesitate to use these if you cross us." Ava nodded, the gravity of her situation sinking in. She would have to tread carefully, using all of her cunning to survive this latest threat. As Brick left the pub, Ava's thoughts turned to Christina. The young woman had been a pawn in a dangerous game, one that Ava now regretted more than ever. She would have to find a way to protect both Christina and herself, a task that seemed nearly impossible. Hours later, as dusk settled over Port Charles, Ava made her way to the gallery. The place held an eerie silence, the shadows lengthening as she walked through the familiar halls. Her mind was a whirlwind of strategies and contingencies. She had to figure out who had betrayed her, who had taken those photos, and how to neutralize the threat they posed. In the dim light of the gallery, Ava's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen, her heart skipping a beat when she saw the message. "Meet me at the pier. I have information. Key." Ava's pulse quickened. This could be the break she needed, the chance to turn the tables. She slipped the phone into her pocket and headed for the pier, her senses on high alert. The night air was cool and crisp as Ava approached the meeting spot. She scanned the area, her eyes landing on a figure standing at the edge of the pier. It was Christina. "Ava," Christina called out, her voice carrying over the water. Ava hurried forward, her mind racing with questions. "Christina, what are you doing here? Are you all right?" Christina's expression was strained, her eyes filled with a mix of fear and determination. "I needed to talk to you. I know what's been happening, and I want to help. But we have to be careful." Ava's heart softened slightly. Despite everything, Christina was willing to stand by her. "Thank you, Christina. We'll get through this together. But first, we need to find out who's behind those photos and why they're trying to take us down." As the two women stood on the pier, their fate intertwined by secrets and threats, Ava knew that this was only the beginning. The road ahead would be fraught with danger, but with Christina by her side, she felt a glimmer of hope. They would uncover the truth, expose the real villains, and reclaim their lives from the shadows. And in that moment, under the starlit sky of Port Charles, Ava vowed to protect Christina at all costs. She would face whatever came their way, and together, they would emerge stronger than ever.